Oh, much better. Yeah, I was gonna make another video like an hour ago, but the freaking camera got all grainy and I couldn't figure out how to fix it. And I figured maybe it had to do with the last video being uploaded. It just couldn't. The laptop couldn't handle the quality or whatever. I don't know. Some freaky shit happens sometimes. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about. So skip to 26, I guess. 26 seconds. um, man, this whole Caulifla thing. I also hear this argument around. Oh wait, first of all, there are a lot of just a lot of bullshit arguments I keep seeing. I just want to keep pointing it out. God. All right. I feel like this should at least be challenged. Some people keep saying Caulifla is a prodigy, right? As if that justifies her reaching like the 3 transformations we've seen her reach so quickly so far, and or possibly Super Saiyan 3 and Blue. And I'm sitting here like, what does Prodigy mean at this point? What does Prodigy mean? Seriously, right? Here's the thing. I'm not entirely sure about this, but I'm pretty sure Cabo is defined as a prodigy. Right? Okay. You could kind of argue that just from what we've seen from his initial fight in the Universe 6 tournament, and then maybe kind of sort of his transforming for the first time. Even though I still kind of find that kind of bullshit because it seemed to be resolved way too quickly. Anyway, yeah, I mean, you could kind of argue that for him. Maybe you could argue for Jesus to be a prodigy because he has numerous examples of him. I mean, I'm talking about in regards to fighting because this is what people are talking about, right? At least, see numerous examples of him doing this. You know, our main character, because he's always described as a fighting genius. So I don't have an issue with that, with him per se being described as one. Even like Frieza's to being described as a prodigy, and I think that was solely because of the fact that he was, kind of just born with this monstrous power. He never trained a day in his life until Resurrection of Av. Then he was like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna start training. He trains for 4 months and all of a sudden, bam! Gets new transformation. It spikes up like that. I mean, it's weird. That seems more like a, not necessarily someone with skill in terms of fighting, just more like prodigy in terms of like potential for growth and strength, and even like necessarily how much power you might be born with. It's some weird anime way, not even necessarily anime, but some weird way that some anime have used to define as like some sort of talent, that certain characters have. In that case, it's not so much based on action so much as a quality that they have, that they just kind of have to, they kind of use to their advantage. And in Frieza's case, all the other characters, it seems more based on their actions, how they handle things, like fighting wise. Frieza's more like, oh well, I have all this potential that's untapped, and then I just do like the smallest amount of effort comparatively, and then bam, everything spikes up like crazy. Then you got Caulifla, and it's like, here's the thing. So far, if you use all those other characters for a frame of reference, you only have 2 ways to define the word prodigy, and one is by way of fighting, and we don't really see that other than this tournament. So it's like, okay, she hasn't really demonstrated any sort of like prodigy skills. She just kind of does what everyone else does fighting wise. The only other way by frame of reference to define the word is, the other way, which is more like a dormant talent kind of thing. And it's like, okay, with regard to transforming, I mean, it's like halfway there, but not really, because here's the thing: barring the whole method that she used to get there, she didn't even. The way she went about it is not what I would describe talented. Maybe for like reaching the first step, SSJ1. Then when she gets to 2, it's like she does it one time, and apparently she doesn't remember how to do it, even though the same method she used to get the first one is the same. So it's like how the fuck why didn't you think to try it the second for the next step? I don't understand why you didn't do that. And then instead she goes to 3rd grade, and it's like, okay, you go 3rd grade. I assume in your attempt to go to state like level 2, but you didn't know how to do it right. I don't. How do you, and then okay, even just accepting that, she goes 3rd grade. She apparently learned it beforehand, but she doesn't realize it's not going to help. Like when it comes down like in an actual conflict, it's not actually gonna work. Like judging from other characters we've seen use it, only one of them actually, one of the 2 previous, like knew that wasn't going to work, was smart enough to figure it out beforehand. You think her being a prodigy, she'd be smart enough to figure that out. So I don't see her being any sort of prodigy with regards to transforming. Doesn't even make any sense. She's not displaying anything prodigy-wise. Otherwise, and then again, if you use the first definition, she's not doing anything significantly different from any of the other characters. So it doesn't really stand out. Like what? It's like a case of if everyone's special, no one is. So if everyone's a prodigy, no one is. It seems so far that words just being thrown out there to make it seem like she's special, but there's no real indication that she's special. She just kind of does things with no real explanation. So, yep, throwing it out there, bullshit excuse. That's all I wanted to touch on. Man, a lot of people use a lot of the time they just use a lot of arguments that don't. When you go into it, they don't really hold water after a while. It's like you kind of have to. I'm surprised. I wonder if how much they sit and really think about it. I mean, those are the only 2 ways that I could see the word like prodigy be used to apply to any characters right now. If there was some other way, I don't know what that would be. Because so far, I mean, all that's really relevant in terms of being a prodigy in this sort of series is so far as just like the amount of growth you have, a potential lever, which seems to really apply a role mostly to transforming, or your fighting talents, like how well you learn how to fight and do well in fighting. She doesn't seem to be special and demonstrate anything prodigy wise either way. So I'm not like, unless there's some other word that can be applied to prodigy for any characters here, let alone her, I don't see it. So yeah, just throwing that out there. Yeah, I don't know. Someone could come up with something reasonable and then show me. That would be great, but I'm not seeing it. Anyway, until the next topic.